Welcome to our webinar on combating impunity, examining the obstacles and opportunity in pursuing justice for victims of torture. I am Heman, Senior Research Associate at South Asia Research Institute for Minorities, and I will be your host for today's webinar. SARIM has organized this discussion to shed light on the challenges faced by victims of torture and explore the opportunities and strategies that offer hope in overcoming these obstacles. Our ultimate goal is to create a culture of accountability and ensure justice for the victims. Combating impunity and pursuing justice for victims of torture requires a multifaceted approach. It demands collaboration, awareness, and a strong commitment from government, civil society, and international communities. By working together, we can create a future where justice prevails and the of every individual are respected. We are fortunate to have an amazing panel of speakers with us today, each bringing our unique perspective and expertise to this crucial conversation. Joining us are Shalin Maria Lawrence, a renowned writer, social activist, and a columnist based in Mumbai, who is an intersectional feminist and anti-caste activist. Dr. Anila Ambar, a professor and a chairperson of the Department of Psychology, University of Karachi, Pakistan, and Dr. Lenin Raghuvanshi, a prominent social activist and co-founder of People's Vigilance Committee of Human Rights based in India. And we are also pleased to have Ashok Kumar Megwal, a Dalit activist, social worker who raises his voice for the oppressed and victimized Dalit community. Shalin Maria, as an expert intersectional feminist and anti-caste activist, what opportunities and strategies do you see that hold promise for overcoming these challenges? Could you share your insights on the main obstacles faced by in the pursuit of justice by these individuals? Over to you, Miss Maria.
Okay, thank you so much, Heman, for inviting me to the webinar and good afternoon to all the speakers here. I'm basically from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, not from Mumbai, so that's something which I want to correct. Because also I wanted to correct that because Tamil Nadu has a very progressive, phase. Everybody thinks it's very progressive, but as an activist from Tamil Nadu, I've seen more police brutality, extrajudicial killings and custodial torture in a very larger scale. And for example, in Tamil Nadu, the number of prisoners, like the statistics as of India only, it's similar in Tamil Nadu. The number of under judicial trials, the largest number is Dalits and Muslims and religious minorities. That's the data here in Tamil Nadu also. Almost 40% of them are they are Dalits under trials here in Tamil Nadu. And it, and this particular year, I want to mention this particular year, Tamil Nadu is not new to police brutality. You've seen the Sterlite protest where 13 people were shot dead 3 years back. And when they were protesting against the copper plant in Thoothukudi, there was a massacre by the state. And then during Jayalalitha's another period in 90s, there was a Vachati violence where Vachati saw state-enabled police violence because there was a search for sandalwood smuggler Veerappan. He's a very famous person. He was a famous smuggler. So he belonged to a non-Dalit community, but he belonged to an area where a lot of Dalit people were there. So they kind of tortured more than 200 households, Dalit households. Um, I'll give you a trigger warning, but the reproductive organs were electrocuted. They inserted electric wires into the reproductive organs, and this is how they tortured. They stripped naked parents in front of children. They made the children beat the parents. They made daughters beat the fathers. And a lot of Dalit women were raped. All this in search of a sandalwood smuggler. And these people were not even any. They were nothing. They were just, in the name of search, they were tortured like this. And still now they have not got justice. And then in 2000, there's this particular community called Irregular community. Hope you all seen Jai Bhim movie. where this particular community is portrayed, how these people are under trials, under judicial arrest, and how they've been tortured. Especially, there was this person called Andiyur Vijaya. She's from the Vidupuram district in Tamil Nadu. Andiyur Vijaya was an irregular woman. So this woman was, she went to give a complaint. I think her husband was missing or something like that. So she just went to give a complaint. And she was raped by the policeman, and she was, stripped naked. She was abused. She was beaten up. Only then people came to know that that incident actually put a spotlight on custodial torture in Tamil Nadu, and that too on vulnerable, marginalized communities, women, Adivasis, and Dalits. And that is the time that she fought back. She fought back. She went back, and along with an NGO, she fought back. All this happened, and even now, the last 2 months, in Tenkasi district in Tamil Nadu, there is this DSP who has been, it, he's been removing the teeth of people just for small quarrels, street quarrels. People come to him, he removes the teeth with a cutting player. And this happened in Tamil Nadu, and around 20 people were affected, and a lot of Dalits were there, and a lot of Dalit juveniles also were affected. And nobody, they don't think the impunity the police enjoys is that the state will not do anything, because state wants to create an image that Dalits are criminals, and punishing the criminals is okay. They want to create two things. One is they want to create, okay, state that Dalits are criminals and Muslims are, they want to create an image that they are terrorists or criminals, and even minority religion, they want to create like that. And then they also want to show people that killing them, executing them, encountering them is not a big problem. See, Tamil Nadu itself, like any part of India, they go ahead and there's some hyper nationalism, there is a hyper patriotism, and they love uniforms. They love the authority of military and police, and they just go ahead and they throw flowers for police people. The media, the cinema. You're going to ask what are the factors affecting it, because the last 1 year they have been 15 custodial tortures in my state, 15 custodial torture deaths. Okay, and in that 90% are Dalit youth, men under the age of 25. Even a disabled man is included in that, physically disabled man. Everybody were tortured and killed. And I am someone who's going ahead and writing about it, tweeting about it, and then organizations are working. But the public, the civil society, does not talk about it. They does not even open them out. You remember 3 years back, two people, Benix and his father from Toothukudi, were arrested because they violated the COVID protocol. They didn't close their shop at 10 o'clock. So they were arrested, they were tortured, and they were killed in Toothukudi. But there was so much of commotion. A lot of global voice and national level voice was there because they belonged to the dominant caste. So I'm not saying that their brutality was right. I'm condemning that. It's a very bad human rights violation. But at least there was a furore. There was people talking about it. But there were just two people. But in the last 1 year, around 15 people have died, and 90 of them are Dalits, young people, and nobody is talking about it. And even if I constantly raise voice against it, nobody wants to talk about it because they have a stigma, they have a prototype that Dalits are criminals. So it's, every time when I go and even last week, a boy died in police custody in Tirunelveli, and he had around 7, piercing marks in his body, tortured marks, and nobody wants to talk about it. They're like, वो तो criminal है ना, he's a criminal, let him die. There is the reason for this is the whole media has been portraying Dalits, minorities as criminals for a very long time, especially Muslims. After the 1996 blast in Coimbatore, every Muslim is treated as a terrorist here. Everybody can be arrested at any point of time and then can be tortured and kept as under trial for even 10 years. There are so many prisoners here in Tamil Nadu, Islamic, people, innocent people, under trials for almost 10 years. And, that's what it is. So they think they're criminals. Okay, the civil society thinks they can be punished, they can be killed. Police has capacity. The whole worshipping, glorification of the khaki, glorification of the police. It always happens. The major reason in this might feel very out of topic or something, but this has a significance. During the 90s, when there was a whole Dalit riots in the state and the Dalit rebellion in the state, it was very, very strong. That time, there was a series of movies glorifying police and custodial torture in encounters. People used to clap for it. Even I used to sit in the theater and I used to clap. I used to praise movies where the police torture a Muslim man or a Dalit man or anybody, calling him terrorist or whatever it is. It is so much of glorification that people think whatever the police does is right. A lot of people, uh, custodial deaths, we see, they claim it as they slipped in the bathroom. They slipped in the bathroom, right? That's what they slipped in the bathroom and they broke their arm or leg. That has become a joke material in my state. In my state, slipping in the bathroom and dying has become a joke material. People will easily, use that word and make fun of people. So that's how encounters. But we do not have much encounters here, but we do have a lot of custodial and tortures. And when you go to police stations, they would go ahead and say there is no CCTV. It is mandatory that every police station, even the interrogation room, has a CCTV. But none of the CCTVs they say are working. That particular day, CCTV not working. Dalit juvenile was killed in the month of December. That news itself did not come out for a very long time. That he was booked because of a parking violation. I don't know what happened. It was a parking violation, and he was taken to some juvenile home. And in the night, he was killed. And juvenile and so many. And the news did not come out for almost 2 months. People's Watch took the case, and they were working for it. And nobody gives because public apathy is a very big hindrance. And then state does not worry about this at all. Tamil Nadu is a police state. India itself is a police state. Tamil Nadu in specific is a police state. People think police तो ये जो कर रहा है ना individual capacity में कर रहा है नहीं. It is the impunity they enjoy because they know that even if the case the state, every time there's a police brutality or a murder or a police massacre, state massacre which happens, it is not treated as a criminal case. It is treated as some negligence of duty, and then there's one retired judge sitting there who will be like 70, very old person who has no morality or sense of justice. They will send this justice, put a commission under him, and he will sit there and around, I think, around 90% of 99% of the cases, those judges have never blamed the police. They always say nothing happened, it was some negligence of duty, and that policeman also will be given suspension for 3 months or given a long leave. Is that punishment? See, if an individual person like me goes and kills someone, it is treated as a criminal offense, right? And it will be dealt in the criminal IPC, criminal way, criminal justice way. But if police does the same thing, it does they are actually given a pillow cushion thing for that, and that gives them a sense of impunity. That gives them the courage to go ahead and be habitual offenders. Keep on doing this, and they also know if they do this to vulnerable people, religious minorities, if they do it against Dalits, if they do it against Adivasi women, they will be totally, they will not face any consequences. They know for sure. So the systematic oppression by the state gives them so much of confidence. And then when the investigation happens, what happens? These own policemen, they are the one who will be taking part in the investigation itself. It's like a criminal they say the psychopathic killer, when he kills, he will himself will become a part of the investigation to divert people. So same case, the police will do the atrocity, and the police will become a part of the investigation. And how do you expect justice to come out of it? The evidence. The main problem is evidence. The destruction of evidence. They find all the loopholes. The state will always support the police, and police will support the state will support the police. So this is the whole scenario. Now, what are the opportunities I have? Other than NGOs, other than human rights organization, nothing doesn't all these cases doesn't even see the light of the day. And you have the UN Convention against torture. India has, I think India has still not ratified it. India itself wants to call itself, yes, we are torture state, we'll go ahead and torture people. None of the civil organizations, none of the human, a lot of human rights. I mean, I would say human rights in the sense people are saying we are social service organizations. They have not, spoken about torture. They've not spoken about brutality. How, this is a state violence. This is fascism, but they don't talk about it. And that's why they have all the guts to arrest people like Stan Swami and kill them. I would say it's a murder, a state murder. This whole there are only few organizations who would even take up cases like this, like People's Watch or Evidence, or but other organizations they do not want to take up these cases also legal remedies, because what the police does in the process is they go ahead and they kind of threaten the family. Most of the times the family files a case, but what happens is the police goes and threatens. They say, "Ah, one person died no, in your family. Now we'll go ahead and torture everybody, everyone, and everybody will." So people get scared. Another thing is a lot of financial, money is given and a lot of stuff. My husband himself, he took one of those cases. He was a very famous rowdy in the south of in Madurai, but that person was killed extrajudicially. He was encountered. He was killed in custody for a very petty case. And then he took up, my husband took up the case and everything, and we're dealing with it. And end of the day, what happened was the police went and gave money to the deceased father, and they threatened him and say, "You taken the money. Now you have to take back the case." All these things happen. So the witness protection for these kind of cases is not there. In the SCST Act, you have witness protection. But in IC in IPC, for torture for people of torture or relatives of tortured people, or people who've gone through police brutality, they do not have the witness protection. They just let loose. So anybody, the police, the state pounces on them. So this is very horrible. See, I'm sitting at my home last year in 2022. I'm sitting at my home. Around my home, I have 5 police stations, and in that, within 5 kilometers, uh, uh, and in that, 3 police stations had 3 custodial murders last year, and it actually, and those 3 of them were Dalit men, and it was very, very petty, minor, things they done, and they were killed, and there was nobody to ask that, the police are still free. There's no inquiry. There's nothing on that, and I'm actually, whenever I hear that somebody just died here within 3 kilometers of my home, custodial torture, the whole night I sit and I think what I was doing when the person was tortured, what I was doing. And it gave me so much of mental health issue. Because custodial torture is something where you don't even get people support. You don't even get compassion. The victims don't even get compassion. Because the victims are stereotyped. They think, "Oh, I live in a place called North Madras, the northern part of Madras. Every youth born here is considered a criminal by the civil society. I'm also born here. But everyone who's born here is considered a criminal. Police will file case on them just like that. And they will go ahead and, take them into custody, beat them up, beat them on the road. Nobody asks why. I mean, I've been shouting my heart out for the last 10 years on this, and nobody asks because they think because you're born in this community, you're born in this area, and you're a criminal. These kind of. I've never seen a white collar criminal treated like that. I've never seen a Bania criminal treated like this. They enjoyed so much of, whatever it is. But uh, your birth determines what kind of police brutality happens on, and what kind of, support you get. And the media, um, the media trials, media is supposed to investigate this. Media is to create awareness on why people are dying in the custody. It is so wrong. George Floyd died in America. Whole of India is burning. Oh my God, George Floyd. Oh my God, George Floyd. Everyone is wearing a black colored thing. Yes, so many Dalits and Muslims and Adivasis have been killed here, and you don't give a thing about it, and you don't worry about it. And this is what India. You think extrajudicial torture is torture and brutality is your culture. It is your nation's atma. But you get because a black man dying, everybody is feeling things. No, but why you're not feeling that? So there's a lot of things that has to be done. The central government has to be questioned on this. So yes, I place my point here. So all I want to say is the impunity is very strong. Judicial system is very much rigged, and people sitting there itself are like, I don't know. I don't even want to pass comments on that. Uh, the police have become state tools. The state are politically motivated. They don't worry about these vulnerable set of people. Only activists and certain activists talk to this. I think it's a wonderful opportunity that we are having a webinar on the subject, and we have to talk about brutality, torture, irrespective of who the person is. He's a criminal, no criminal, no. Let's focus majorly on these issues. Thank you, Heman, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Shalin, for putting your point very boldly, and we appreciate the facts you mentioned and insights and story you told. We really appreciate that. Okay, moving forward, we have our next speaker, Lenin Raghuvanshi. We will be listening to his video message because he could not join us due to his urgent flight to Delhi. So please, Rimsha, share his message with us.
India already signed the UN Convention Against Torture but did not ratify. Also, India brought a anti-torture bill, law, which is passed by lower house, Lok Sabha, but is still pending in the upper house, Raj Sabha of the India. So that is the whole situation and the mindset of the Indian government. And what happened? Now the fascist government, Hindu fascist government came, and then in India, attacks and the tortures of the minorities, tribals, displaced people, Dalits are increased, especially the Muslim minority. And in this way, it is big challenge. And also what we achieve in the 70 years as institutions like our honorable courts, human rights commissions, other processes, that is also on the attack, and it is also big challenge. And but if you are looking the framework in the IPC Indian Penal Code 330, 331 are against the police torture, and also the Evidence Act Article 29 talk about any confessions before the police official which is the contradict the statements before the judicial magistrate, it is not evidence. So and also CRPC 161 and 164 describe that, and so torture is totally eliminated by the existing law. And the National Human Rights Commission also brought a guidelines on the custodial rates of extrajudicial killing, and also on the tortures. But the most important thing, if you look at the whole situation of the conflicts and the politics of subjectivity, which create a lot of big problem and challenges. But here also in many individual cases, National Human Rights Commissions is one of the best option to help as a poor courts and immediate relief. There is a many critiques by many human rights activists and the experts and the law experts, but the most important thing, NHRC still help that. And in the very serious case, also the Honorable High Court and Honorable Supreme Court intervene into that. But the lower judiciary need to be follow the whole guideline of DK Basu, where this Honorable Supreme Court describe the rights of the detainees, and that is very important. And PVCHR, our organization, are fighting in this way. We are providing psychosocial support to torture victim. Also, we are providing helping in the meta legals interventions. Also, we are highlighting on the issues, very serious issues like a bulldozer's justice, and also we are helping to this survivor of the torture in the court. And here we achieved 280 crore rupees as a compensations in the many cases in the 20 years. So that is one of the great things, and many police officials behind bar, a lot of disciplinary action also. After all black time, very dark time, but there is also something is very good. Activists ourselves, and we highlighted, and Associate Press published about the bulldozer justice in my province Uttar Pradesh. And after that, what happened, which is totally decreased. This bulldozer justice, which is against the modern criminal justice system. So that is very important. And there is also increase of the extrajudicial killing in Uttar Pradesh. But we help, and we brought evidences, and we challenged in the National Human Rights Commissions and with the police, and that also decrease, not totally eliminate the extrajudicial killing. So most important thing, India need to be ratify, no excuse for the UN Convention Against Torture, and they need to bring and pass the this anti-torture law from the upper house Rajya Sabha, and which is very, very important for the vibrant democracy as well as the leadership of India on the global level and the United Nations.
We appreciate and thank for the video message to Dr. Lenin. Now moving forward, I would turn to Dr. Anila Malik, who is the convener of the harassment committee at University of Karachi, to shed some light on the subject. Could you share your experience and insights on how we can foster a culture of accountability and ensure justice for torture victims? Over to you, Dr. Anila.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. There are a few things which I would like to share. That, in my opinion, impunity arises where those responsible for acts that amount to serious human rights violations are not brought into account. And personally, I feel that in society, in every society, impunity is deeply rooted in everywhere. I must remember I think during the 2019, Said Ghani publicly committed that we need to work for this issue regarding when the issue has been arise related to the journalist. But still we don't have such kind of addressing element. But there are a few things which we need to start start in order to combat for that impunity. We must ensure that the justice, the procedural justice, need to be assert and maintained in every part of the society. And there are certain certain crimes, and we need to think and we need to believe that there are certain crimes which are not supposed to be subject to any statutes of limitation or any kind of freedom from the punishment. For that, we need to raise awareness, we need to advocate the issue in the civil society, in the universities and in the colleges. And we must need to design a better accountability system in the society. And what I feel that it must start from the home, and from the home means that it must start from the police, prisoner services, or military officials. And we need to promote a culture to stick together and to help each other in order to make a procedural justice. Sometimes it happens that there are certain flaws in the legal system and in the prosecution. And those flaws definitely give rise to the impunity. And what I feel that whenever we need to eradicate this kind of element, we need to design a better accountability system. The better accountability system start from every law enforcement agency and every kind of a person who is related to that particular issue. And there are certain things which we need to follow in our society, that uh, we need to promote a culture for raising voices. We need to promote a culture to address the issue, regardless of the fact that sometimes it is very harmful for a simple person to raise voice, because there are certain consequences for it. But वो जो उर्दू में कहते हैं ना कि जी आवाज उठाते रहें कभी तो सुनी जाएगी. So I must insist that we need to raise voice, at least if you are not able to do something by action, by other kind of activities, but you can write, you can raise your voice, and that helps a lot to those people who are victims of torture. That is more important from my perspective, because there are certain psychological consequences of impunity. When we are raising impunity, when we are facilitating impunity, it has a negative consequences on the people who are become the victim of torture. They feel helpless. They feel completely silent. कि अब उनकी कोई सुनी नहीं जाएगी, and that is more painful for the society at large. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for speaking your mind out loud. Now, I would like to request Rimsha Shahid, a research analyst at SARIM, to deliver the concluding remark of this webinar. Over to you, Rimsha.
So, yes, first, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all the distinguished guest speakers for their invaluable contribution, obviously. The webinar on combating impunity, examining the obstacles and opportunities to pursuing justice for victims of torture, definitely marked a significant milestone in raising awareness and fostering dialogue on a pressing human rights issue. The event brought together a diverse range of participants, including experts, activists, and individuals passionate about seeking justice for victims of torture. Throughout the webinar, thought-provoking discussion delved into the multifaceted challenges that impede the pursuit of justice and accountability for survivors of torture. All the panelists shared their expertise, insights, and personal experiences, highlighting the systemic, legal, and societal obstacles that perpetuate impunity. By addressing topics such as the role of international frameworks, the importance of evidence gathering and documentation, the crucial role of civil society in advocating for justice, the webinar illuminated the complexities and opportunities in combating impunity for torture. Here, I would like to appreciate Mr. Ashok Meghwal's advocacy efforts, as he is currently in a protest, and that is why he was not able to attend today's meeting. We wish you all the best, Mr. Ashok. Moving ahead, our first speaker, Ms. Shalin Lawrence, very confidently uncovered the dire situation of minorities. According to Shalin, a disturbing reality prevails in India's Tamil Nadu state, where daughters and children have become victims of torture. Shockingly, there seems to be no accountability or impunity for such heinous acts. Moreover, women face the horrifying ordeal of being raped by law enforcers themselves, highlighting a grave violation of trust and power. Furthermore, minority communities are being targeted for torture, exacerbating the already dire situation within the state. Even prisoners who are meant to be under the protection of the law are subjected to cruel and inhuman treatment by the law enforcer or by their protectors. What is deeply disheartening is the apparent blindness of both the media and the law enforcers, obviously, towards these pressing issues, thus perpetuating a cycle of injustice and suffering. The discussion then followed by Dr. Lenin Raghuvanshi. He highlighted that in India, the rise of Hindu fascists has resulted in an alarming increase in the torture inflicted upon minority communities. Despite the existence of laws aimed at protecting the rights of these marginalized groups, positive outcomes have not been realized. And the judiciary, unfortunately, is facing challenges in curbing this torture, and its intervention have been met with ulterior motives and a lack of genuine interest. Efforts to address the issue of extrajudicial killings have been impeded by various hurdles, hindering the effectiveness of judicial interventions. This situation underscores the urgent need for concerted action to address the rising tide of torture and ensure that justice is served for all, irrespective of their religious or ethnic background. Then Dr. Anila Malik took the floor and who emphasized that the lack of accountability for perpetrators has far-reaching consequences. Impunity allows for the continuation of human rights abuses and undermines trust in the justice system. The impacts created by impunity are devastating, perpetuating a cycle of violence and enabling perpetrators to act with impunity. To combat this, robust judicial interventions and the implementation of strong statutes are crucial. By holding perpetrators accountable and ensuring that justice is served, we can begin to dismantle the culture of impunity and restore faith in the rule of law. The discussion underscored the urgent need for collective action to address impunity and create a society where all individuals are equal before the law and human rights are respected and protected. So, yes, definitely it is our hope that the impact of this webinar extends far beyond its duration. The valuable lessons, ideas, and insights gained from this event can inspire concrete actions at local, national, as well as international levels. By collectively addressing impunity, we can contribute to a world where the rights and dignity of torture victims are upheld and justice becomes a reality for all. The webinar on combating impunity for victims of torture reaffirmed the importance of solidarity, advocacy, and the tireless pursuit of justice. It is through continuous efforts, informed discussions, and collaborative actions that we can make a lasting difference in the lives of survivors and work towards a future free from torture and impunity for sure. Thank you once again for your invaluable support and dedication. Stay connected and join us in future endeavors as we strive to create a truly positive media, as a truly positive and a cohesive society. Over to you, Heman.
Thank you very much, Rimsha, for giving the concluding remarks. As we come to the end of our discussion, I want to express my gratitude to our estimated panelists for their expertise and passionate commitment to this cause. Thank you for all joining us today. And as Rimsha said, let's continue this important conversation beyond this webinar. Together, we can make a difference.